Oh, hi, traveler. Are you planning a once in a lifetime safari trip to Africa? Well, yeah, you. Going on a safari is exciting and wild and unlike travel to anywhere else in the world, trust me. But with that can come uncertainty and a lot of questions about what to pack. So, in this video, I share some of the packing tips I received before I left, as well as the tips and specific items I found to be helpful on a safari trip to East Africa, specifically Tanzania, or Tanzania, as people much cooler than me call it. So let's get started. First up, I want to talk about luggage. This nice porter here is carrying our backpacks. And even though we checked these bags on most of our flights, we needed them to be compact and soft-sided to fit in the safari vehicle. These vehicles are really cool, but they do not have a lot of room for luggage. Compact, soft-sided bags are the way to go. And for us, they ended up being critical since the rest of our crew brought big hard shell suitcases. They had to consolidate, and even still, things were tight. Having a carry-on size backpack was the right move for this trip in general, but especially for a safari. So keep that in mind when you are picking out some luggage. Next, I want to talk about maybe the most important thing I packed outside of essentials like passport and money. These were my Knox binoculars. I read that a lot of guides are prepared and bring binoculars for everyone. Our guide provided no binoculars. There were 6 of us, and thankfully 3 of us remembered and we were able to share. Sometimes you're super close, like this. There are many instances where you will be looking at animals so close you could reach out and touch them. Please don't. Binoculars aren't necessary when the cheetah decides to take a seat 10 feet from your vehicle. It's amazing. But most of the time, the animals will look like this. Kind of far away, still really cool. Or maybe really far away, like this water buffalo and these lions. You're obviously not getting very close to hippos. That would be very dangerous. And birds, if you want to see birds. You need binoculars. Even if you're close to animals, the binoculars are going to allow you to see details that are just super cool, like on these banded mongoose. So even though you're close enough to see, the binoculars are super helpful. Please don't forget a pair. You can get them quite affordable. You don't have to get fancy ones. And then you'll be better equipped for experiences like this. This next recommendation is a little random, but I was told to pack a bandana. The Serengeti is dusty. Really, really dusty. I was told a bandana would help, and it did. You will be really glad you have it when it's hot and the windows are down and the dust is pouring in. Along with a bandana, I would recommend maybe some nasal spray, eye drops, and wipes. You will use them all to get the dust out of your nose, eyes, and crevices. This dust is not pleasant, but it is worth it to see some of the things you're going to see. And this bandana will help mitigate the unpleasantness. Bonus, when it's not dusty, a bandana is good for other things like sun protection, wiping sweat off your brow, and cleaning up. Now, nobody wants to deal with stomach issues on a trip, but stomach issues on a safari are a whole different level of awkward. You're going to be eating some tasty stuff and some interesting stuff and a lot of non-refrigerated stuff. So the travel clinic recommend a colostrum supplement. I found a gummy one that is also a probiotic, and I took it before every meal. To be perfectly frank, I have no idea if it worked, but I did not have any major tummy issues, and I am inclined to believe it helped. Plus, it was such a simple thing, so I didn't think it could hurt. Now let's talk money. I did a ton of research into how much cash I needed to bring for tipping and to buy stuff, and I even talked to someone who was recently there. But even with all the research, I did not bring enough cash. Now, when you're buying things like Tanzanite, which I recommend you do, you can use a credit card. But most of the time, you're going to need cash. and it's going to be hard to get it. Part of the issue is that ATMs are not exactly thick on the ground. Even when you find one, they have fairly low limits for the maximum amount you can take out. I really wish that I had brought more US dollars with me. Everywhere accepts them. In the event that you don't use all of them, you can just bring them home. But the ATM, getting enough money out of the ATM is a struggle. You're going to need the small bills, like $1 for washrooms and random rides that you might get from folks. But also, you're tipping and lodging, meals, buying stuff, and when you go to a Maasai village, there's money to be spent there as well. And of course, tipping your guides and whatnot. I think I was the first to run out of cash, but everyone did eventually. It's not like you're going to go hungry or anything, but if you want to be generous, you're going to need cash. This is a much less critical recommendation, but a strap for your sunglasses is very helpful. Between the binoculars, my hat, it was always just nice if my sunglasses were within easy reach when I needed them and not getting lost somewhere in the safari vehicle. Like I said, this is not that big of a deal, but I distinctly remember being grateful for it many times. Along with that, I also had a strap for my binoculars, a leash for my phone, and a clip for my hat. All were helpful items I would recommend and pack again. Now, if you were planning a trip like this, you may be as concerned about bugs as we were. Seriously, we were worried. I did not need to be because I think we saw 2 bugs the whole time, but I'm so glad I was prepared, and probably the biggest thing I did that I don't normally do was spray my clothes ahead of time with permethrin. I read about this, but also the travel clinic recommended it, and a friend said she did as well. It's pretty easy, although if you are a pack the night before kind of person, this is not going to work for you. But it wasn't too hard to spray down my clothes and then let them air dry outside, and then pack them up. Along with that, I brought several types of insect repellent, including lotion, spray, and wipes. I wanted to be prepared, and I was happy I was, even if we didn't see very many bugs. Now let's talk about a few things you can leave behind. So unless you're trying to make a fashion statement or you're going to be doing some serious walking tours, you can leave your boots at home. You don't need them. A sturdy, comfortable pair of sneakers that you don't mind getting dirty because of the dust will be perfect. And actually, you can stand up in the safari vehicle onto the seats, but if you do that, you need to take your shoes off. And you're definitely going to want to stand up because you can get a better view. So having a pair of lace-up sturdy hiking boots is going to be very difficult to get off when you need to stand up and look at some sort of wildlife situation. I wore some new Taos sneakers, and I highly recommend them. And speaking of dust, again, you're going to want to leave anything white at home. You'll read a lot about how you need to wear green and khaki and tan, and these are good colors. You're also going to read about how black and blue attract the bugs. I don't really know. They very well might, but we didn't see any bugs. You're going to be okay with most color choices, honestly. I would say being comfortable is more important than the color of your clothes. I would just stay far, far away from white and even cream. I had a light tan shirt that did not fare too well, and I just think the dust and dirt are going to wreak havoc on any sort of light or white clothes. So keep that in mind. And finally, my last piece of advice, you can leave your puffy coat at home. Unless you really, really, really run cold, you're not going to need it. I kept reading about how it's really cold in the mornings and evenings and you need a coat. Liars. All I needed was a very light cardigan. If you run a little cold, you might need a jacket, but a puffer is overkill. And there you have it, my tips and tricks for what to pack for a safari in East Africa. I hope this was helpful. If you would like my entire packing list, go ahead and click on the link. And if you have any questions, please reach out. In the meantime, enjoy your safari, good luck with the packing, and of course, happy adventures.